My name is Leslie Karbo, but I go by Tugg Karbo, and I am a physical therapist based in Houston, Texas. The main reason I enrolled in CashPT Blueprint is because it spoke directly to me. The way I run my household is on a zero-based budget. My wife and I don't borrow any money in order for us to basically live our daily lives. And I thought to myself, if I'm going to run a business, I want to run it the very same way. And so I want to work with individuals that are very money conscious, but in a good way. I need them to understand that what value they need out of me is the value I'm going to provide to them and then some. And I could see that in Aaron's course is that his cash-based PT program was going to allow me to be able to explain the value of my services and my physical therapy practice to my potential patients, and that's what I wanted out of the cash-based PT program. It helped me sort through the kind of clientele that I was looking for. More specifically, it gave me the right wording to be able to explain to people why their health is more important than just the dollar value that they were looking at. And it also gave me an opportunity to explain how my skills are going to improve the quality of life. We didn't just have the conversation based off of money, but we had the conversation based off of what outcomes that they needed and how my services were going to be the bridge for them to get to where they needed to be. Anytime there's a online module or course, I always have to ask myself, do I have enough time to actually sit through the entire course and go through the details? Because typically there's a checklist that comes from a course like this, and then you have to carry out each checklist in order for you to accomplish the goal that you're looking for out of the course. But once I realized how simple it was with just basically sitting down on your own time, listening to the voices and the modules and helping you kind of direct you from one step to the next, it was actually more of a driving factor of why I needed to sign up, and that's why I think it's really helpful to me now. Had me check my own systems and try to figure out what my value is to people. More importantly, we're taught to be humble. We're taught to, especially in the state of Texas, that's really important for people to not be always discussing finances. But what it did is it showed me a value system in which that the things that I know and the knowledge that I possess is one, very beneficial and helpful to clients and patients. But it also allowed me to explain that to them in a way that was more receptive as opposed to just having that, do you take my insurance conversation. It changed the quality of patients that I received. It really did. I'm more personal with my patients. We have a more close rapport than I think I typically would in a different situation. I get better outcomes as a result because people are buying into me and they're not necessarily buying into what my profession is physical therapy. So before I hadn't started a business, it was the information from the cash-based PT program that convinced me that I could start a business, because in some of the modules it explains to you how to keep a low overhead and then also produce a lot of value with not a lot of bells and whistles. I think that it's also convinced me that I don't need to go out and purchase the newest equipment. I certainly don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on useless things, that I can basically tell people exactly what it is I'm about, and they'll be willing to purchase the value that I provide as an individual, as a human being, as opposed to just a service that they need to have done. I highly recommend it. I just finished talking to someone who I was singing Aaron's praises, because more specifically, it gives you a philosophy on how important and valuable you are, and gives you a working system on how to deliver your services better. And so when you have an outline to follow, it's much easier than if you're trying to create it on your own. Aaron's course has been the single most important step into me creating a business as an individual physical therapist that hasn't had me create a lot of overhead. I haven't invested my life savings into any one endeavor, and I just wouldn't do that to my family. And so understanding that there's a way to do that gives you confidence to do that. There's no turning back now because everything's up and running. But if I had thought about spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 into starting a company, I would have still been waiting to pull the trigger. I would recommend the CashPT Blueprint to any physical therapist who's looking to take control and have autonomy of their practice.